I want to tell you about my mother.
Yes.
My mother, I grew up in Germantown in a very Irish Catholic neighborhood, all row houses, lots of kids packed in the houses and one bathroom and all of that. And my mother was a nurse. And from a very young age, I realized how important, my mother seemed to be the most important person in the neighborhood, because nothing happened in our neighborhood that my mother wasn't called. So if anybody needed a stitch or had a tick in their head or needed an enema, he would be called. If anybody was sick, anybody broke anything, my mother was in charge of saying, okay, take him to the emergency room, okay, bring him over here.
Wow.
So it just was so, I realized just how important this was. And I remember being very proud of my mother. She was really, really a tough mother and really hard on her kids. Like, we would bring home straight A's because we didn't dare not. And we would come home and, you know, a lot of kids would get like dollars and stuff for get this great report card. She would say, well, of course you did. You're a Claffey. That was my last name. That was just what was expected of us. And she was really hard on our kids, but I think, oddly enough, I would never have thought that growing up. All the most important things I've learned in life, I really learned from her, because everything was about giving back. And she thought nothing of saying, oh, okay, Ann will be right there. She would send me up the street, this one needed help with something. My brother Richie was constantly food shopping for someone. We were just service to others and thinking of the community and giving back. It was just the way it was. And I remember one time we were taking, it sounds so silly now, but we were taking beer and donuts to the convent for the nuns. And I remember we were in the car, and I said to my father, why are we always the ones that have to do all this? And you know what? I know now why. Because she taught us the best. Like, giving back, the idea of giving back, the greatest joy you can get is giving back. And her whole life was about that. And we didn't really recognize that because she was so strict and so hard on us. But all the best lessons I learned were from her. And I just naturally became a nurse, because what else would I do? As did my sister. Both of us just, you know, polished our shoes, and put the cap on, and became nurses.
Did you parent like she parented you?
I was softer with my children, but I also, we were talking about this a little bit ago. I never had a problem. It was very black and white to me. It's wrong or it's right. And I'm not going to argue. I'm sorry, you're not wearing it, you're not going. That's all. I never really questioned that. Like, it was either right or it was wrong. It was black or it was right. It was yes or it was no. And sorry, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent.
That's so important.
And so I like to think I was a little easier on my children than she was on us. But at the end of the day, you know, I guess she raised really great kids, and I did too. So my mother, I would say my mother, even though, God, 30 years ago I would never.